The blind masseur is giving a rich man a massage. Suddenly, he senses something is wrong. He quietly tells the rich man, there seems to be a lock-picking sound outside the door, but the rich man dismisses it, for there's nothing on the monitor. The words barely fall when several robbers burst in. Without a word, they knock the rich man to the ground. Then, right in front of the blind man, they force the rich man to open the safe. To save his life, the rich man complies, but he has a trick up his sleeve. He enters a wrong fingerprint, then grabs a baton to defend himself. This move enrages the robbers completely. They slowly remove their masks and kill the rich man nonchalantly. The blind man beside them trembles with fear. To check if he's faking blindness, the gang leader stabs a steel needle toward his eye. Seeing the blind man doesn't flinch at all, the robbers spare his life. Just as they prepare to flee with the money, the police suddenly arrive. They start a car chase, but the robbers are cunning. At a fork in the road, they vanish, misleading the police to take the wrong route. It turns out the boy is also one of the robbers. Soon, the blind masseur is taken to the police station. Facing police questioning, the blind man keeps refusing to provide clues, claiming he can't see. To verify if he's truly blind, the officer turns off the lights at once. Then he waves a lighter in front of the blind man's eyes, and finds his pupils dilating. Thus, he concludes the man is faking blindness. Seeing the blind man still uncooperative, the officer threatens to expose his fake blindness. The robbers will surely kill him if they find out. The blind man trembles with fear. He has to reveal the whole incident and robbers' features, but he never expects there's a mole for the robbers in the police station. The mole reports the situation at once. The enraged gang leader immediately mustered his men, opening the long-sealed weapons depot. However, he assigns the assassination task to a high school student. They lie in ambush in the building opposite the police station. As soon as the blind man appears, he will be killed on the spot. Just as the boy is about to pull the trigger, a monster suddenly appears in the scope. Startled, the boy misses the shot. Seeing the blind man escorted to the car, the gang leader is furious. He snatches the boy's sniper rifle and presses the trigger without hesitation. It turns out there are no bullets at all. This is just a test for the boy. At the same time, the blind man senses something wrong. He desperately tugs at the car door, but the lock has been broken in advance. Even the driver is a robber in disguise. Endless torture awaits the blind man.
I gave a gift to the girl I like, but it was snatched by a jealous bully and thrown onto the ice. I endured the humiliation and walked toward the lake's center. Suddenly, the ice under my feet cracked. The icy lake water engulfed my whole body. No matter how hard I struggled, I couldn't escape to the shore. I thought I would drown. At this critical moment, I activated my superpower and teleported to the school library. People around were very surprised. Freezing cold, I didn't have time to think and ran home in embarrassment. When my father saw me, he didn't care at all, but scolded me angrily instead. I said nothing and went back to my room, but my father kept nagging. The moment he slammed the door open, I teleported back to the library again. At this moment, I finally realized I seemed to have awakened some kind of superpower. So the next day, I started practicing my special ability. At first, I couldn't master it well, but through constant practice, I achieved some small success. When I got home, I saw a picture of the Empire State Building in a magazine. It reminded me of the memories of my mother taking me there to play. So I thought, with a single thought, and actually arrived at the Empire State Building. While I was very surprised, I also realized my life could be lived differently. Because of my father's violence, my mother had left home long ago, and I decided to leave here too. Before leaving, I said a final goodbye to the girl I liked. I wanted to tell her everything, but such a thing was too bizarre. Later, I came to New York and rented a cheap apartment, but it used up all my savings, so I went to the front of the bank. At first, I hesitated, but to survive, this was the best way. I pretended to need to use the bathroom and asked the security guard to take me inside the bank. Then I used the gap to memorize the internal scene. That night, I tried hard to recall the scene I had seen during the day. As a result, I really succeeded. Looking at the mountain of cash, I was overjoyed. I started packing the money right away and teleporting it back to the apartment. I made several trips back and forth until the room was filled, then I stopped teleporting. From that moment on, my life underwent a huge change. When I grew up, I not only owned my own luxury villa, but also had endless wealth. If you had this ability, what would you do?